taking people's lives. And when you talk about corporate brutality, then you talk about political brutality. Because who do the tricksters work for? Who do they work for? They work for the corporations. And then when they work for the corporations, what do? Then it trickles down. And Sandra was telling me today at the demonstration, it trickles down to Sammy and Bobby and Big Sam who go upside your head. And they want to kill you just to maintain their position on the plantation. That's what happens. Now let me tell you about the cases we've been dealing with. We have to look at a case that we're dealing with. I was just talking to this young lady back here about the case of Robert Mitchell. Robert Mitchell, who was tased to death by Warren police, who was tased twice, 15 years old. And he was tased by Warren police who ran across from Warren into Detroit like they do every night. Now for those of you who are from here, from around the country, Warren could be any other city in any other major area where the ed cities, where across 8 Mile, it could be across the river. It could be in Benton Harbor, it could be St. Joe and Benton Harbor, but they come across at night like the Ku Klux Klan has done and beat up, in most cases, young black men and killed them. So the situation is not so much of what has happened. We had a family that was going to be here tonight, a family where they were sitting on the porch on a night very much like this, over near my old high school on the west side. They were sitting there enjoying the night, and you've seen it. How many of you went on the march today? Okay, you went on the march today. Did you see the uniforms they had on? Now they had the uniforms on and they had black hoods on. They came up on this young man, these 3 young men, told one to stop. He walked up on the porch. They had 7 or 8 people on the porch, ages 5 through 55. And they shot on the porch. They shot 13 times and they hit this young man 5 times in the back. He survived. Hit another young lady in the leg. Hit another young man on the foot and another one. What we're going to do, and this is where I want to go from the problem to the program. The Coalition Against Police Brutality has a program called Peace Zones for Life. Now, Peace Zones for Life are very much like what happened in other areas where we had liberated zones, where we took over the place where we were and we didn't have people calling the police to resolve the problems that they had. We have to go back when we go into our communities, and we have to take communities back, build our economics, build our political structure, build our coalitions, and we have to transform our own neighborhoods and tell the cops to get the hell out of our neighborhoods. We don't need to have people that we pay to come and destroy our lives. The Detroit Police Department in the last several years, 10 years, has cost the people $380 million in lawsuits. That's more than a deficit. They have also caused, in many cases, families to be destroyed. We had one young man, Dennis Crawford, his 4-year-old son saw him shot to death. Detroit has a statistic that you should know about more than any city in the United States. 1 out of every 49 people, 1 out of every 49 persons has the risk of being shot by the police. And I'm glad that the officer is across the street because she can hear this, 1 out of every 49. And we have challenged the police to challenge other police. If you say you're the good cop, then you challenge the bad cop. But we know in the final analysis, when it comes down to it, I want to give you another little program and I'm going to end about what we're talking about. 1, in terms of the People's Summit. 1, we know that the same people who who hit you with the nightstick, who kill you with the taser, who shoot you with the gun, are the people who run the banks.
That's right.
So I'm saying it's time that we just take over the banks and nationalize them because they can't run them anyway.
That's right.
We don't need AIG to run our lives because they want us to be dispersed from here so they can come back in and take the property. We've been talking about a national moratorium. Obviously, a lot of people don't have jobs. A lot of people don't have money. The Moratorium Now Coalition has said that we should have it. Yes, we should have a moratorium now, and we should declare a state of emergency in this state and around the country. And furthermore, with all the money that AIG and everybody has been given, anybody who has a mortgage over or less than $200,000 should be paid. They shouldn't have to pay a dime. Shouldn't have to pay anything for it. And then finally, in terms of police, the people control the police. They work for us. We need a different kind of policing. We need to understand that until we begin to take control and police our own neighborhoods, until we take control and begin to transform the pattern of violence into peace, that we're always going to be turning around asking somebody in to try to control us. We need to take responsibility for the violence in our own neighborhoods. I'm not going to let us off the hook because we have a hell of a lot of violence that we visit on each other. And revolutionaries, people who are here who are revolutionaries today, we have to end the violence among ourselves. And when we start doing that, then we can make sure that we end the violence that the police visit on us every day. And I want to finish with the one thing. I want to thank all of you for coming here today. We are at war. We are at war. And if you have any questions about it, what you saw at General Motors today will let you know that they were there to make sure that 100 people would know.
Keep going, Ryan. Who's on security?
I'm sorry, brother.
Keep going. Keep going, Ryan.
Sorry I'm taking up